Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. And a helicopter chose this moment to go right over my head. I mean, it could not have been worse timing. Oh well. Uh, Hi, I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad, and I couldn't hear the helicopter.
Oh, okay, good.
This
That's good because
this is Brandon, and there was definitely no sound from the helicopter that came through.
I am amazed because it sounded like it was right over my house. I don't know if I said it. Today we're going to be doing Loki, Prince of Lies. And Steven will not be joining us today because he had other responsibilities that he had to take care of. But I've got the other two guys. I've got Brandon and Brad here with us. So, how are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing fine.
That's good to hear. How are you doing today, Brandon? I almost said Steven. How are you doing today, Brandon?
I'm pretty good. I got to hang out with Brad earlier.
Yeah, you guys were at a pre-release event for Star Wars Unlimited. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
How was that? I'm curious.
It was fun. I did not go.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't. I did not make it, and I wanted to make it, but I was driving back from Meadville. So, oh well. I will make events in the future. But let's move on to some other stuff to talk about. So there is a lot of news out of AMG. Uh, Specifically, we now know all four of the characters. We know everything about, I guess not everything, but we know the stat blocks for all four of the characters in the new Asgardian box. And, oh boy, I'm excited. But we'll cover that as we do the characters. We also know about a new terrain feature based scenario edition, like one of those scenario editions that's based on terrain features for the Asgardian beacons. Brad, do you have that pulled up?
I do.
Okay. Can you read it off for us? Because I do not have it pulled up.
Okay. So it's a one shot, The Light of Hope. It gives +3 threat modification, which that's real exciting.
That's quite a bit.
The setup, if not already on the battlefield, place 2 or more beacons of heroes on the battlefield, not within 2 of another terrain feature. And then it adds the following rules. Blazing Beacon. Characters within 3 of a beacon of heroes do not benefit from the stealth superpower.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That-
I think that this one will have much more impact upon a game than the previous one they did.
Yeah.
Mostly just because of the +3 threat. But
I don't know. Not having stealth is pretty big for those characters, too.
it is. If you have one of them very close to like a secure objective, yeah.
Especially the ones that have, like, what's it called? Martial artists? And
Yeah.
and stealth.
Your Shadowland Daredevils.
Wow.
Yeah.
He doesn't have martial artist.
No, he doesn't. He just gets blanks all the time. I don't think there's
Yeah,
a
he
range
just
on
is
that.
always blanks. True. Okay.
But for
well,
the
fair.
characters that, like Spider Woman, who has stealth, and if you're within 2, count
Yeah.
blank.
Now you can just hit her from
Right.
5 away.
Yeah.
If she's close to one of those beacons. But yeah, this one I think will have more of an effect than the other one. Again, these are not tournament legal, so if you are planning to play them, they are just fun additions to your local game store nights. Anyway, I think, is there any other news out of AMG that we need to discuss? I don't think there is. So, let's move on to the upcoming tournaments. All right, coming up later this month on July the 13th, there is a tournament at CharCon. If you've never heard of it, CharCon is the convention here in Charleston, West Virginia, and it's a real small convention. There's not a whole lot going on, but it's a fun event, and there will be a tournament that is taking place there, and there are now officially 4 people attending. So, hey, there's an event now. It'll go 2 rounds at the very least.
Who are
Now,
the other people?
there's 4
yes.
people that I know of that have told me
4
that
people that
they're coming.
correct. It could be 25 people. I doubt it. I
Who
very
are the
strongly
other
doubt
2
it.
people?
Brandon and Tony.
Okay. I knew they said they were going to try to make it, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're making it. So we're turning this into an actual event. But that is happening on the 13th of July. Then coming up the next Saturday, July the 20th, is the BECC at the Guard Tower West in Columbus, Ohio. This is the next qualifier event, and it's going to be packed.
Oh yeah, Fred. We need to discuss something about that with you, but that we can do that off air.
Okay.
I just forgot
now
before we started.
Okay,
Nothing,
well, we'll
nothing to
discuss
worry
that.
about, Fred. Nothing to worry about.
It's just
Okay.
logistics.
Okay. Yeah, we got to work out how we're all getting there. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that after the call. And then on August the 2nd, there is the start of the Salt Lake Open, which is a grand tourney, and it is going to be an LVO qualifier. So if you are interested in going to LVO, all you need to do is win this grand tourney alone. That's all you need to do, and you can go to LVO by yourself. But that is at Salt Lake Open on August the 2nd. Then coming up on the 17th of August, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. That is our local game store in South Charleston. So come on by if you're interested in having a good time. It'll probably be a pretty small tournament, not too much stress, pretty light. Then we're moving into September. On the 14th of September is the next Akron Brew Brawl. That was a really fun event when we went earlier this year, and I look forward to going again. It's going to be a good time. So Akron Brew Brawl is the 14th. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the BECC qualifier at Fabricators Forge, which is going to be September the 28th. Ooh, that's a lot of events. But we're getting into the event season. It's summer and late fall, or early fall, so everyone's having their travel time events, and I'm looking forward to participating in as many as I can. All right, well, that's it for events that are coming up. Let's do either one of you have any games to talk about that you want to talk about?
I played 2 games. I think we both played 2 games.
All right.
Yeah, maybe.
You played Andrew and Borka?
Did I play Borka?
Yes.
I did. I remember now. Okay. Who's going first?
Do you want to talk
So tell
about
me
your
about
games?
Okay. I played Andrew, who hadn't played in a while. He was playing Spiders. He wanted to try out some new models. He tried out Spectacular Spider-Man and Gwenum. I didn't let his Gwenum do anything. I purposely played a little down on scenario the first couple turns. Well, the first turn. To make sure I could start attrition early. Like I waited to activate Logan late so he could make attacks and stuff like that. And he at one point decided to try to run from me, but I was scoring more points than him at that point, and so I mopped up a couple more of his models and managed to win the game.
Did he quit immediately?
We did not score out the final turn. So
Okay.
I don't think so
Well,
anyway.
okay. Well, hopefully he will come back. Get
He did,
some wins
he
under
did
his belt.
not. He did not quit abrupt or angrily.
No.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
No. All right, Brandon, your turn to talk about a game.
I played Criminal Syndicate into Hydra. The first game was Infinity Formula and Paranoia. Paranoia. It ended on turn 3.
Because of Criminal
I-
Syndicate winning.
yeah, I won on turn 3.
Okay.
It was fine. He just I spent a lot of time making. He played Red Skull 2 this game, and I spent a lot of time just making sure Red Skull 2 didn't get to do anything by keeping stagger on him and pushing him away.
Yeah.
Because effectively on Infinity Formula you can play. In a perfect world, you can actually play. What's that card that I can't think of the name of?
No.
It's the one that reduces the cost of a spender.
Oh.
Oh.
No matter the cost.
Yeah.
No matter the cost. Yeah, I kept wanting to say all you've got, but that wasn't it. Because you can play no matter the cost on turn 1. After you move up onto a point and stagger someone every single turn on Infinity Formula with Black Cat, as long as she's getting the extra power. So it just kept a lot of staggers out in that game. He didn't roll very well either, so it wasn't good. And then we played again, and he played Red Skull 3, and I felt like the list he played the second time was a lot better. It was a lot closer of a game. It went to turn 5, and I was able to win.
Was he playing Cabal under Red Skull 3, or was he?
Yeah.
What?
Same roster, different models.
Okay.
So he played Red Skull 3, Winter Soldier 2, Viper. Oh God, who else did he play? Taskmaster.
There's a lot of switch between Hydra and Cabal.
Yeah, I think everyone in his list except for like one. Oh no, we were talking about everybody that's Hydra except for 2 models is also Cabal.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was. Oh
That
no, it
seems
was 2.
Was it? It was either 2 or 3,
It
wasn't
was
it?
2, but one of them is Taskmaster.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's
right.
it's
Right.
Spider Woman and Taskmaster.
Okay. Taskmaster, who is all affiliations.
Yeah.
Yes, who is a rogue agent. So, yeah, so the second game was a lot closer. Red Skull 3 is really good. And he did not roll as poorly, so he was able to play a little bit more of a attrition game. But I was able, and it was scrolls or whatever the power core is at 17.
Alien ship.
Yeah, it was Alien Ship and Infinity Formula. Alien Ship is a stupid scenario. Honestly, it's really not bad. I just never play it, so it was kind of weird. It makes it a lot lower scoring.
That's
So.
probably going to his benefit.
Yeah, it was good for him. There were like 2. I think we both tried to pick up a second one at like different times, and you can only hold 1 per character. So there was like multiple times where there was just like cores sitting on the ground because nobody could pick them up. It was a really close game. I think it ended like 18 to 14 or 15.
Oh, yes, it was really close.
Yeah, I was able to steal a couple extra points at the end that was able to kind of get there. So they're both good games. So
All right. Well, Brad, do you have a second game that you want to talk about?
I did. After Borka lost twice to Brandon, he pulled out Criminal Syndicate against me, won the roll, and picked his secures. and chose to play Kingpin, so we know how this game went.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so did you not win?
Of course, I
Like,
didn't win, Fred. I
I
played
mean, okay,
Kingpin on
so
his secures.
it's not a 100% of the time, although it is close. It's pretty close.
With Weapon X, it's real unfortunate for them.
Yeah.
It's not what they want to be doing. Mayor Fisk though you might have some play in Mayor Fisk because it gives out stun and damages.
I mean, that's the best of a very bad situation.
Yeah, because the stuns and damage can help if you can. The problem is it's all very close, so um, Logan might not be as super effective because he's got to be near his people so he doesn't get his rerolls. But like that's probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, well, we didn't get that. We had Infinity
Yeah.
Formula and
Something else.
No, it wasn't cubes. It was
Yes.
something that you couldn't pick up multiple of.
Spider
I don't know.
infected.
It could. No, because we never rolled. And that's not in my list.
Did you play the same extract? Did you play on the alien ship?
It could have been. I don't know.
I think they were both 17 because I think when he flipped it, he said, "Oh, we're playing 17." And
Yeah,
you said,
it was definitely 17.
"You were like, what? I get to choose," and you were like, "Oh, never mind."
No, I said, are they both 17? And he said, yeah. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. So it could have been
Well,
alien ship or spider infected. Those are the only two 17s.
It had to be alien ship then.
Yeah. To be fair, me and Josh did talk about almost the entire time about the mirror match of just Criminal Syndicate versus Criminal Syndicate. And I think he just has an advantage because his list is more attrition based. And if we both just select Kingpin, he gets more fighty models.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, that sounds like a terrible fight. That sounds like a real awful game. I would not like to be involved in that. In a Kingpin v Kingpin. All right. Well, I think
it's
we've
just
talked enough.
you just play a regular game.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you
Actually,
do.
you're right. You do just play a regular game.
You play a regular game with models who don't want to play that game.
Right.
That's what we talked about, except for his list has like Killmonger and Gwenpool and models who just want to punch things in the face a little bit harder than I do.
Right. Okay. Well, that was the games that we played recently. I have none. I was out of town for this whole weekend, so I did not get to participate. But well, let's move on now to the recalibration matrix, shall we? So when we give a character a grade, there are times when we either don't take into full effect the way that the meta is affected by the character, or the character gets changed by an errata, or sometimes we're just plain wrong. And in those cases, we like to come back and give a corrected letter grade on, in this zone, we call the recalibration matrix. Today, we are going to be recalibrating someone that we were definitely wrong about, or at least myself and Brad.
I was not wrong.
You were still
we will
wrong.
be doing Gwenpool. So when we did Gwenpool, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I gave her a D plus. That is way, like, comedically way too low. She is a lot better than that.
I wasn't on the episode too. I did not give my
You did.
score, and
You
you
came
did.
late.
You gave it. Yeah, you came very late. You were there like in the last 10 minutes of the episode. And you did give a grade. And we were all like, oh, we gave her much lower than you. Because we were wrong. So Gwenpool let me just. I'm not going to go through all of her rules, but let me give some quick and dirty, important stuff. She can place herself. She reduces damage to a minimum of 1, just innately. She has a range 4 attack that can give bleed, shock, or incinerate or poison if you get a trigger. She has a range 4 8 dice attack that's energy for 4 power. Everything I just said rules.
She
Why
also
did
has
I give her?
rerolls.
She also has rerolls. Uh, is there
You pay
up to
for them.
3 power, and each one you spend gives you a reroll. What did I think was bad about this? Like everything I just said rules. She has a pretty
And
good defensive line. They're not bad.
four,
She
three,
has,
four defensives.
yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I I guess it's technically very high. She has less energy defense than the rest of everything, but still, she's great. And then her attacks are also good. How much stamina does she have? Is it 6 and 5, or is it 6 and 6?
I'd have to look. I don't have her
6
pulled
and
up.
6.
6
I
and
thought it
6.
was
So she
6
has
and
12
6.
12 hit points. She's a 4 threat model. Everything is, so I'm gonna give her a much higher grade. She's very good. She deserves to be at least a B plus. That is what I'm going to give her. All right, Brandon, you've used her quite a bit. Well, talk about just some real quick about what your take is here.
I mean, she's really good. So she's got a 5 dice attack, range 2. You have a reroll available to you. Has Pierce. She has the range 4 attack. That's a gainer, which on turn 1 you can move up and then place yourself within 3, so you can get on further points. The spinder's really good. The spinner also gives auto stun and incinerate, and can deal damage to other characters, which is something that got missed on there. You can also reroll attack or defense dice with the reroll. The damage reduction is just a big plus. I think even on the cast, I thought you guys were crazy for the scores you gave her. I don't understand how you can read this card and think this isn't a really good model. She can do a little bit of everything. Um, the only thing is she can't place with an objective token, which is like the only probably considered a downside. But she is on a small base. She can move medium. And she's got the range 4 attack, so she's got ways to keep herself safe, plus plot armor, and then the rerolls. Yeah, I don't know what you guys were thinking. I don't know what was said or
I'll
how
tell
you
you.
guys were convinced.
I'll tell you what we were thinking. I wasn't. I don't know what I was thinking.
She also has,
I was
and
wrong.
she comes with good tactics cards too, so it's not like
We didn't know those at the time.
okay.
Yeah, we did not know those at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, Brad, give a quick takeaway for Gwenpool.
She seems pretty good.
Yep. Okay. And then what are your letter grades?
Brandon first.
Hey, Brandon, what are
I'm
you gonna give her?
I will stick with my original grade. What was my original grade?
I don't know. It was in the A's. I think you gave her either an A or an A minus.
That checks out. I'll stick with that. We'll go with a solid an A for her, and while I look to see what I actually gave her.
Okay. And Brad, what are you gonna give to Gwenpool?
I think B plus is pretty fair.
Okay. Yeah. So clearly we were wrong. This was a case where this was the third option for the recalibration matrix. And on that note, we can close the recalibration matrix and move on to the next event that we have today. So, Brad, why don't you tell us some trivia and make fun of me for not knowing any of it?
Okay, before I do the trivia, I want to tell Fred a story. So today, about 3:30, my phone pops up with a little suggestion that I should open my notes app to where I put the trivia for you. So we have been consistently doing it at the same point in time the last couple weeks, I think.
Your phone has learned your pattern.
Yeah. I hate when I pull into Chick-fil-A and it's like, hey, do you want to open the Chick-fil-A app?
Yeah, I turn that stuff off because I don't like that.
Well, it doesn't pop up and ask me if I want to. What it does is when I go to search for the Chick-fil-A app, because I don't want to find it on my phone, it's the first suggestion.
Oh, that's not, okay. That's not too bad.
No, that's not too
That's
bad. I'm
probably
like,
'cause
that's
he's-
exactly where I want it to be. So here's how
Yeah.
this works. I ask some trivia questions to Fred and Brandon, technically. And it's trivia about the characters in the comic books, not in the game, which Fred doesn't know very much about, and Brandon only knows slightly more. And how it works is if he gets it right with the original trivia, he gets 3 points. If he gets it with the hint, he gets 2 points. If Brandon helps and answers correctly, they get 1 point. And Fred needs 6 points to win.
Sure.
6 sounds great. I think that's what it's been when
Okay.
there's only 2 people. All right, Fred, do you have any questions? Great. Here's your first question. This character once served as the man on the wall. In this capacity, this character protected Earth from alien threats by doing things like destabilizing galaxies and dethroning gods.
Oh wow. Very powerful character. Destabilizing galaxies to protect Earth.
Yeah.
So this guy's a villain. This
So-
guy's clearly a villain. Because he's killed trillions to save one planet.
Protected Earth. Protected Earth.
Yeah, clearly a villain. Okay,
Fred,
so I'm gonna
this
say
is
Doctor Strange.
that is incorrect.
Is it Doctor Strange?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Your hint. Several of this character's family have taken up the Zodiac key and become the villain Scorpio. This includes the character's brother, son, and grandnephew.
This is not helping. The Zodiac key to become Scorpio. Okay. I've got nothing here. This one's wild. They've got to be very powerful and a protector of Earth. So in the comics, they would be portrayed as a hero. I'm gonna say I've got nothing. Is it Beta Ray Bill?
That is incorrect. Brandon, do you know who this is?
You said son and nephew?
Son, brother, and grandnephew.
Son, brother, grandnephew. Do we have more than one of these characters? Do we have any of the family in the game?
None of those characters that I have just mentioned are in the game.
Fuck, I was gonna cop out and say Nick Fury because he's the only one we have his son in the game, besides Cable and Cyclops.
Is Nick Fury out there destabilizing galaxies?
Dude, I don't know.
I
This has
don't know
got
either.
it sounds like a gag. This sounds like it just should be Deadpool. Like this sounds like it's just an absolute gag. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going with Deadpool. This seems like this would be in a Deadpool comic.
Deadpool is incorrect. Fred, before you cut me off, I was going to say that this is basically the sci-fi version of what Doctor Strange does. Doctor Strange protects from mystical, and this person protects from aliens.
Okay.
Brandon's gonna kick himself. It's Nick
It
Fury
was
Sr.
Nick Fury. God damn it.
It is Nick Fury Sr. The son that became a villain is not Nick Fury Jr.
Yeah. Damn it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Your next question. You just have to nail these two, Fred.
Oh,
So if
sure.
Fred wouldn't have interrupted you, I would
He
have had a
he would have
chance.
got a better guess the first time than the character I was going to tell him was a dit, but whatever. This character was first created to make sure that they could copyright the name before another company took it. Stanley didn't want another company profiting off the similarity with one of their biggest superheroes.
You said a name in there and I didn't catch it.
Stanley.
Stan Lee. Oh, obviously. Okay. Okay. Creative off of one of their biggest superheroes. Uh, oh man, I've got no idea either. This one, it's got to be someone with a very similar character. Is it Wolverine?
No.
Okay.
Who is similar to Wolverine?
Listen, I don't know. It was an important character who I don't know. Go ahead. What's the hint? What's the hint?
Your hint is like Wolverine, this character was originally supposed to be an evolved version of a critter. But another writer changed their origin to just having memories of being that critter put in her head by an evil organization that was manipulating her. Her true origin was that she was sick from radiation, was given some DNA from that critter, and kept in an incubator for decades until she emerged only a little older and with superhuman abilities. Well, until yet another series retcons that origin away too.
Okay, is it Spider-Woman?
It is Spider-Woman.
Yeah, yeah. The evil organization is Hydra, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was A. I would like to give Brad credit. That was a good hint.
That was a good hint.
That was
That
a
got
good
me
hint.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 points for Fred. Next question.
Yay!
You just need to get 4 points on this, Fred.
Okay.
This character was once possessed by an evil demon ninja. This gives this character a lifetime's worth of martial arts training that they put to good use after being freed. These experiences led to this character taking on a new code name after a long line of code names that they keep and are known as now.
So I want to say Daredevil, but I'm worried that's wrong.
You're not
This
supposed
is
to
one
help,
I think I
Brandon.
may know, but I don't think I know. But like, this is like the first time I think I actually know the one like right away.
That's crazy.
And I'm probably wrong, so it
This
probably
is
doesn't matter.
the comic that I'm talking about here is very famous, but
Well,
probably
I don't
wrong.
know it. I'm gonna say Daredevil, even though did
Yeah.
you say that's wrong?
that
Okay.
Brandon said that was wrong. Now I'm gonna say it's wrong because that's the answer you went with. This character
Yeah.
once saved the Earth from being hit by a giant bullet.
You know how the last clue you gave was really good?
This
one's not.
This is a super famous story. Everyone at home is like yelling at you right now.
I don't know this one. I don't know this story. Well, a famous ninja, and gave him. I've got no idea. Is it? I have no idea. I'm gonna just say, Moon Knight, even though that's wrong.
That is wrong.
Okay.
Brandon, do you have a guess?
Is this? Can I ask a question? It's not gonna change my guess. It actually might change my guess. Is this a mutant?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Is it Kitty Pryde?
It is Kitty Pryde.
Okay, then I'm not crazy. All right.
I
have seen the first one. That's why I was like,
yeah, that's when she becomes Shadowcat, and that's what most people know her as now. As far as nicknames go. So that brings your total up to 3 points. Your bonus question worth 3 points is: What do these characters have in common?
Okay. So we've got Nick Fury Sr., we've got Spider Woman, and we've got Shadow Cat. Nick Fury Sr., Spider Woman, Shadow Cat. Is Shadow Cat Shield? I don't think she is.
She's not. I got nothing
She's
for you,
not.
buddy.
Nick Fury Sr., Spider Woman, and Shadow Cat. Are they all cases where the character was first thought up far in the distant past, in like before the 90s, and they've had to constantly, I don't know. They're all old young characters. That's my guess.
Have they all been possessed by an evil entity at some point?
I don't think so.
Oh, hey.
So
Okay.
the correct answer is they all have stealth.
Oh, okay. I see. Obviously.
They're all playable models in the game.
If you had said they're all members of Shield in the comics, I would have taken that though, because Kitty Pryde, there's a series called Kitty Pryde, Agent of Shield, where she joined Shield for like 5 or 6 issues. But that's not what you went for, so
That's not what I went for. Oh well. We can't win them all, everyone. I certainly don't know as much about comic books as I need to do well in this game.
I try to pick stuff that maybe you have heard of or that I've talked about. I've definitely talked about Kitty Pryde rescuing Earth from the giant bullet. Now, whether you were standing there or not, I don't know, but I have talked about it.
Whether I was present for the conversation or not, who knows? All right, well, thank you,
You
Brad.
being present as well as paying attention are two drastically different things that could not have been.
Correct. Correct. All right, well, thank you, Brad, for another rousing game of trivia. So sometimes we would usually at this point have Steven do his game where he tells us how we did in our predictions about the Asgardian box, but Steven is not here today, so that will have to wait for the next episode. So let's just move on to talking about the character that we're here to talk about today. It is not Gwenpool. That is the person who I had up when I opened up Cerebro. All right, so today we're talking about Loki, the Prince of Lies, otherwise known as Loki Laufeyson?
Lofi.
I don't know.
Laufeyson. Laufeyson?
His defense.
Laufeyson? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never heard that. His defenses are 4 physical, 4 energy, and 5 mystic. He has 7 stamina on his front side and 6 stamina on his back side. He's a threat value of 5, a size of 2, and a movement speed of long, which rules.
And on a medium base?
And on a medium base, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's on a medium base. Okay.
No,
Brad,
no. Small base.
Small base.
Thor's the only one on a medium base.
Okay. Oh, well.
That's a good
thing. Yeah. All right, Brad, why don't you do the attacks and his affiliation bonus?
Okay. He has a mystic attack called Mischiefs and Magics. Mischiefs. There we go. Range 3, 6 die, 0 cost. Gain power equal to damage dealt. Crit, Wild, Bamboozle. After this attack is resolved, this character may advance the target character short. Then the target character gains the root special condition. His second attack is Mystic, Clever Ploy, Area 3, 5 dice, cost 4. After each attack is resolved, if that attack dealt damage, there we go. This character advances that target character short. Allied characters in range of this attack do not suffer damage from it. And his leadership for Asgard is while another allied character is attacking, defending, or dodging during the modified dice step, it may spend 1. If it does, it may reroll one of its dice, and this character gains 1 power.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you finish off the card?
The first active superpower is called Go Forth. For 2 power, choose another allied character within 4. Place the chosen character within 2 of its current location. The superpower can only be used once per turn. Reactive superpower. Oh my, what a pity. For 1 power, after an attack targeting this character or an allied character within 3, or after an attack made by this character is resolved, it may use this superpower. If the enemy's character's roll contains any skull results, that character suffers 1 damage. He is Asgardian, so he gains an additional power in the power phase. And this isn't mischief, this is mayhem. While attacking or defending, this character adds skull results in the enemy character's roll to its total successes.
Okay, all right.
And
So
nothing of those change on the back.
right, the back is exactly the same except he loses 1 stamina. Okay, so on first blush, this guy seems like he's a control master. Like, he's going to be moving people all over the place. He's also going to have a ton of power all the time because of his leadership. His ability to move one of your people, the Go Forth ability, is online at the beginning of round 1 because he's Asgardian and it only costs 2. So he can use it, and like, let's say you have a large base model or a huge base model on your roster, you can move that model 2 forward, just at the very beginning of the game. That is Malekith in charge range of the middle point. That is Hulk.
So, yeah, this allows you to use Hulk and not have to Gamma Leap.
Yeah.
So you can actually move Hulk, Gamma Leap, and then attack twice on turn 1.
Yeah.
Which
I think
something
that
you'll be able to do with new Thor probably as well.
And then his spender is very cool. I think is there another Area 3 in the game? I think this is the first Area 3. I might be wrong, but I think this is the first. And I think it rules.
Hard.
Wait, what?
Thanos has a tactics card that gives him a large area.
Okay, then never mind. But I think this attack rules. I think that he's going to be running in and moving. I guess that he has to do damage with the attack in order to move people. But he can count skulls in his enemy's roll, which is a weird way of doing it, but it makes sense with the character. And it also rules because how many times does your opponent roll skulls in their dice pool? If you're playing against Borka, it's all the time. So,
wow, shots fired.
I mean, hey, you were there. You've seen his dice. His dice hate him. His dice are against him.
We have group meetings about
it. I think this character is absolutely awesome. I think that this is I think the leadership is good, and I think that he's going to see a lot of play in Asgardian lists. He may even see he may even be splashed in other lists because of his ability to move. Although he is a 5 threat, which is pretty steep of a splash. But I think he's very good. All right, that's my first blush take. Brad, what do you think about this character? I'm talking too much.
He's good.
Thank you, Brad. That's very, very helpful.
I mean, Fred, you said it all. Like, all the skull
Fred
stuff's
did go
good.
on a little tangent there.
I did go on a tangent. Sorry. You're correct.
Oh my, what a pity, and This Isn't Mischief, This Is Mayhem are both really good. The place is really good, especially since he can do it first turn. Like, did we talk about how you can advance them short and then give them root, so it's harder for people like Hulk to jump back and hit you twice?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a 6 die builder.
Yeah. Like, that's really good if you can get that trigger. Now, the trigger's very hard to get. But
yeah, crit wild. That's not a good trigger, but still.
It can be a better trigger under certain leaderships.
Under cap 3?
Yeah, cap 3 can change one.
Cap 3 can make it happen.
That doesn't help. I mean, it helps a little.
Well, I mean, it does help. He can do 50% of it. You just have to get one of those and a hit.
Yeah.
And then you can make it happen. I think that this guy wants to play under his own leadership most of the time.
I think that
just
helps.
To keep himself.
But
yeah,
like, as long as you don't care about the spender, I don't think you need to worry about his power.
I think he'll be very power. I think he'll want some cards to use, which we should probably talk about some of his tactics cards.
We will definitely talk about his tactics cards because I think one of them is great and the other one is good. Okay. I should state, his leadership does not work on him. Like, he cannot use his leadership. He cannot spend to re-roll any of his dice.
Yeah.
I think it says
Another.
other characters.
While another allied character.
Yeah. So that is the one downside to his leadership. But I think that this guy's defense is to stay out of fighting and to make enemies that are in range of him walk away from him. That's what he's going to try to do most of the time.
Okay. I think the key thing is it's oh my, what a pity. You can use that on every single attack. So like it's really gonna make you think twice when your character's getting close to dazing, like what you're gonna do, because you can end a character's activation in an attack if they have 1 health left. Auto damage is really, really good. That being 1 power and not something that is restricted and can be used a lot. And he doesn't have to be near.
Times.
Yeah, he could be. If it say like someone's like attacking at range 3, he could be 3 more away and still use this because it just has to be near the allied character.
Or an allied character within range 3. You're right. Yep. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the best thing on this card. I think it's gonna be the most. There's a lot of good on this card. I don't want to try to
there's a great deal
that,
of good on here.
But like being able to do that twice every turn just without getting any additional power, because you get 2 power a turn, is really, really good. Like that's really, really. I don't want to overstate how good that is, but that Bullseye is arguably the best 2-threat character in the game, and a lot of it's because he has an auto damage that he can do on his attacks. This is something that he doesn't have to attack anyone to get. Your opponent playing the game turns this online.
Yeah. One of the best things about Electro is that he does an auto damage to you if you target him with an attack.
Yeah, auto damage is so good. The only other thing there is one other character who has an area 3 attack in the game that's on their card, and it's conditional, and that's Mr. Sinister.
Oh, okay. Mr. Sinister. I think this is the best area 3 attack in the game. I don't know.
You don't even know what Sinister's does.
No, I don't. You're right. Am I wrong?
Sinisters can be area 3. It's 6 dice. It costs 6 power, and then if you get a crit hit wild, each other character that's in range of the attack takes another damage.
Okay.
So Fred was
okay.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Fred being blindly right. That doesn't.
That's fair. Okay, so let's cover some of the tactics cards that are associated with Loki, Prince of Lies. The first one is, let's talk about giant. Should we talk about Freya's Blessing? Freya's Blessing is a relevant card to him, and it's not character specific. So this is an Asgard-specific card. It is reactive. During the power phase, any allied Asgard character may spend 3 power to play this card. This character may reroll any number of its defense dice this round. I think this is fine. 3 is pretty steep, but you will probably use this for Loki Principal Eyes if he needs to defend against a big attack, and he will have the most power of.
You're also re-rolling select dice every time he's attacked.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I think you're
if
underselling
he's
this
in
card.
an
I think this card is really, really good. The worst thing about this card is the fact that it's an Asgardian card, and Asgard may have the best cards in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know what? This is any Asgardian character, so you can have all of your characters pay the cost, and they all get to reroll.
Yes.
I did not catch
This
that.
is also something that can keep Beta Ray Bill alive, something that keep Thor alive, Loki, characters that can have a lot of power. So, and being an Asgardian, getting 2 power a turn, by the time you want to play this later in the game to stay alive and survive, you're probably going to have the power to spend.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, you're right. You're right. This is a good card. Brad, do you have anything you want to add about this card?
Card's
Before I
good.
move
This
on.
one will actually probably get played.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Giant's Blood. This is an unaffiliated reactive card. When an enemy character ends a movement within range 2 of an allied Loki Laufeyson, Loki may spend 2 power to play this card. Enemy characters within range 2 of Loki gain the slow and root special conditions. Then Loki drops all objective tokens he is holding and is placed within range 5 of his current position, of his current location. Okay. This is a good defensive card. I don't know if this card makes your 5.
This is
In
This is the fun but not good card.
Yeah. It's like it'll keep him alive, but I don't think you need it.
The next card's the fun but good card.
Oh, correct. The next card is the fun but good card. Brad, what's your take here on Giant's Blood?
I don't think he's going to see much play.
Yeah. All right. The last card that we're going to talk about is Trickster's Boon. This is an Asgard-specific active card. During an allied non-Asgard character's activation, Loki, Prince of Lies, may spend 4 power to play this card. Choose an allied non-Asgard character and an enemy character. The chosen allied character gains 5 power. This activation phase, if the chosen allied character dazes or KOs the chosen enemy character, gain 1 victory point after the effect is resolved. If it did not, during the cleanup phase, the character controlling the chosen enemy character gains 1 victory point. The chosen allied character loses all of its power, and Loki, Prince of Lies, gains 1 power for each power lost this way. Okay, this rules. This is a way to juice someone up and have them take out someone who they're going to take out anyway if you're using it right, and you get a victory point out of it. I really like this card. This card is very good. The character who's affected has to be a non-Asgardian. But otherwise, I think you're going to play this almost every time you're playing Loki. Someone else talk. There's a train going by. Hey, Brad, what's your take on this card?
I want to play this with Killmonger.
Yeah.
So you can usurp the throne as well?
Yes. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I'm just double checking right now. Usurp the throne costs 3, and his charge costs 2. So 5 is like a really good amount of power to get for this.
And they're both dazes or KOs, right?
Yeah, they are both daze or KO.
That's the key, is the dazes or KO. Because if it was KO, this card wouldn't be good. But the fact that you can daze someone, this is also a very good card with Hulk.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Hulk
I think that
gets
you
it
use this with Hulk
immediately.
all the time.
And
Yeah.
and as we discussed earlier, that's a good target to teleport turn 1 anyway.
Yeah, but Killmonger also works really well because he fits a different, as we'll probably talk about next week, the 6th threat Thor. Um, you may not want 2 thick 6s, and now you have a really good 6 in affiliation, so it might kind of push
That's
Hulk
true.
out of the way. But Killmonger and Usurp the Throne, and Usurp's not an affiliated tactics card, it's just a
No.
Killmonger tactics card, which is really relevant, and Killmonger likes to kill things. So
That he does.
I like this a lot because you can wait till the character is activated to use the card, like it's not during the power phase. And when I first read this card, I thought it was during the power phase, and I was like, oh, this card's really bad. Because then you just run away and get a free victory point if you're the opponent.
Oh yeah.
So,
You wait until it's the character you want to do it to's turn.
Yeah. You wait. Well, no, you have to do it during. You do it during their turn, but you wait till that person's already like activated and stuff. You can to like kind of play around it. Any shenanigans? I guess you don't really have to because you can just do it during their thing. But this is the main reason Loki's power will kind of hold on to him a little bit is to play this card.
Yeah. Yep. I think this card is great. Brad, you've already spoken, right?
I did.
You both have spoken about this card. Okay.
He brought up Killmonger, and
He did. He brought out Killmonger.
2 tactics cards, and you can get 3 victory points in the middle of a turn is just absolutely.
That's fantastic.
So
That
good.
swings a game. That's a game swung
Yeah.
in your favor.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give Loki, the Prince of Lies, a letter grade. So this guy is gonna change the way that Asgard plays. His leadership and the powers that he brings to the table are completely different from how Asgard is currently playing, and he's one of the better control pieces in the game, I think. I think without question, and he's gonna be. I think he's also just great on just looking at him. He's just great. I'm gonna give him an A, and I'm leaning towards an A plus, but I'm not giving him an A plus. I'm giving him an A. Okay. Brandon, what are you going to give to Loki, Prince of Lies?
A plus.
A plus. Okay. And Brad, what you got?
I was gonna give him an A, so I think I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay.
This summer is going to be very meta changing for MCP. It feels like.
Yeah, we got Namor, we've got Shang-Chi, and we've got this box that's going to change Asgard entirely.
There are 2 great models in this box.
There really are. You're correct.
There are 4 good models. There are 2 great models.
There are 4 usable models, and there are 2 great to excellent models in this box, and we will talk about the next one next week. And yeah, that's we're very up on Loki, the Prince of Lies. All right, Brad, do you have any comic book recommendations that feature Loki? Loki
the son of Laufey.
Yeah, Laufey.
I really enjoy watching Fred struggle saying his last name.
Listen, I've never heard it before. I don't know how that's supposed to be.
I
pronounced.
also don't know how to pronounce it, so I don't want to.
Do you know who Laufey is?
Is it a frost giant?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
In
King of the
fact,
Frost Giants, right?
Fred, have you played the new God of War, Ragnarok?
I have not, but I am aware of it quite a bit.
Have you played the first new one?
Yes, I did play the first new one.
What's Kratos' wife's name in that?
Oh, it's not Freya.
No,
I don't remember.
It's Faye.
I don't remember.
Short
Faye.
for
Okay.
Laufey.
Oh, okay.
They made so in in Norse mythology, Loki is a male frost giant. But in the God of War universe, they made Loki female.
Okay.
And
Okay.
spoiler warning for people who care about
Spoilers.
this several-year-old game for the end of that game. I didn't
Yeah,
spoil
spoilers,
anything from Ragnarok. I didn't spoil anything from Ragnarok.
Correct. Spoiler.
That is a spoiler
your
for the
kid is
first
Loki.
one.
Your
Yeah.
kid is Loki.
Yes.
That's the spoiler. Yeah.
Ragnarok is a very fun game to watch, like, people play.
So was
If
the first
you
one.
are- Yeah, the first I did. Yeah, they are both very good games to watch. People who are good at them play because it is actually very entertaining. And you don't have to invest.
I did not play either of those games and watched a complete playthrough of both of them. They are
Yeah.
they are that good that it was enjoyable just to sit there and watch them.
The cutscenes are amazing.
Yeah.
They are God of War. They're better than previous God of Wars, which
Yeah.
is saying something.
It is.
I'm with Brett. I've watched both of them play through, and I've not played either of them. And I would
they're
still
good.
play them if I had like the time and patience to like play through a rather long video game. They are not short games.
I played the first one and loved it, and I have no excuse for why I haven't played the
Yeah,
second one.
you would like
I
the
really
second
should.
one. Okay, now
I really should.
this is all not comics. So let's talk about comics.
Okay.
I have two
Oh, the
recommendations.
God of War comic.
I think there is a God of War comic.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know anything about
Sorry.
that. So the first one I'm going to give, like, it's a little bit of a cop out. Collectively, it's known as Guardian Wars. So it's X-Men and Alpha Flight 1 to 2, the New Mutant Special 1, and the X-Men Annual 9. And this is really two stories that often get collected together. They're by Chris Claremont, Paul Smith, and Art Adams. And mostly this is Loki messing with the X-Men. In X-Men Alpha Flight, he gives some humans great power. In fact, enough to create peace on Earth. But it's Loki, so you know there's a downside or a catch. It's a very interesting comic. If you watched X-Men 97, Madeline Pryor is in this comic. In the other two issues, the annuals, the New Mutants end up in Asgard scattered, and they kind of have to like figure out what's going on and where to go. And you get to see different pieces of Asgard. Like you get to see the dwarves and the elves and like just different things in Asgard. And then the X-Men go to Asgard to try to save them. They also end up scattered and have to like get by, and you see different aspects of Asgard through their stories too. And Loki, of course, is behind all this, and you get to see Loki being a master manipulator in these.
He is the Prince of Lies.
He is the Prince of Lies.
It is what he does.
And it's interesting because at least in the first story, he never really lies.
He gives people power that can, in theory, bring about peace on Earth. And then, of course, there's a catch.
There is, but he didn't lie. Unless you count a lie of omission.
Omission of
Which
truth
is a
is not a
lie.
lie. That is not a lie.
It is
Fred.
100% a lie.
All right, Fred's too good for the world.
Okay. The second story it's called Loki. It's from 2004. It's by Rob Rhodey and Esad Ribic. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you already know that I'm going to say the art in this is beautiful. Because it's Esad
Ribic's your guy.
Yeah. And the series focuses on Loki's relationship with his fellow Asgardians, but from his perspective. So you don't often get stories from Loki's perspective, and this one is. It's also Loki getting exactly what he wants and finding out that maybe he didn't want that.
I would almost say that the first Thor movie is kind of from Loki's perspective. I mean, it's not, but
No, it's really not.
it goes into a lot of how he sees his place in the Asgardians.
Sure. Anyway, this is a
I feel
really
like we drastically I feel like we had drastically different views of how that movie was taking place, Fred.
He's okay. All right. Well, it also has been a long time since I've seen that movie.
This is a good comic. 4 issues. You should read it.
Okay. Loki, 2004. All right, Brad. Well, thank you very much for those comic book recommendations. Hey, Brandon, do you have a faction where you think that Loki, Prince of Lies, could easily be splashed, where he would work very well?
I have a lot of places I think he'd be really good. Being a 5 threat's kind of niche because you have to be like really overwhelmed, which is something he can really do. So he fits in any kind of like control strategy, as well as attrition strategies because he does have just free damage. I may try him under Kingpin as a 5 threat. I think he's a perfect fit with Emma Frost in Hellfire Club to a point where I think almost every Hellfire list going forward may have Loki, Prince of Lies as part of the list, which is kind of obnoxious because
that he's affiliated though.
Yeah, he gets everyone's technically affiliated. So yeah, I think that's I do like him in Criminal Syndicate, both under Shadowland and Kingpin, but the world hates that I always do that. He wants to be you really kind of look in places where like 5s fit in really good. Winter Guard somewhere that I really want to I think it's really good to play him. Because the one thing to slow Loki down is gonna be like giving him a lot of conditions and having a way to remove conditions pretty easy, as well as more rerolls and stuff. And he also has the ability to help some of the Winter Guard characters out. So I think that is my odd, I would like to say, a little off the wall inclusion there because I think him with like Crimson Dynamo, oh God, what's the Darkstar and Darkstar, and then the non-agent of Shield Black Widow. Either one of them fit in really well to make Winter Guard kind of pretty controlly and kind of an obnoxious team to deal with or have to try to deal with when you have Loki in the mix.
You must mean Red Guardian instead of Darkstar, right? You mean Red Guardian, right? Because he's the one who has the
Yeah, Darkstar doesn't do anything in that. Yeah, the 3 threat.
Yes, Red Guardian.
Threat. Yeah, I just got them confused. Even though I guess they're both 3 threats.
They are both 3 threat, but Red Guardian is better.
No, Darkstar's the one I was talking about because she also can move characters around.
Oh, okay, I see.
So Darkstar's dimensional portal for 3 can move someone within 3 and place it within 3 of its current position. So you can kind of move your own characters around and make sure everyone's in the right position. But yeah, Red Guardian's good too. But okay. Yeah, the shenanigans I was mentioning involved Darkstar for the movement shenanigans. Sorry, I was not.
I think that Loki, Prince of Lies, has a place in Spider Foes. I think that he definitely has a place in Spider Foes.
Anywhere that doesn't have an affiliated 5 is gonna be. He's gonna go very up the list of 5 threats. That I don't know, man. Namor's a thing.
Yeah, I know. The only reason that I'm picking him over Namor is because I think that everyone's gonna have Namor in their list. But right now, the only 5 that I have in my Spider Foes list is Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider is great, but I think that Loki, Prince of Lies, would take that spot and work better for what I'm trying to do. So
Yeah, and then definitely more control. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's got a lot of control and attrition gameplay to him, so he can do
yeah,
a lot of good.
he really can.
There's gonna be a lot of Loki around. The worst thing about this is the other Loki's also pretty good, and you're probably gonna see the other Loki a whole lot less.
You're definitely going to see the other Loki a whole lot less. Like, I think that this one makes the other Loki obsolete. That might be a hot take, but I think that other Loki's going to have a lot of trouble seeing the table with this guy around. I don't know. We don't know this guy's affiliations, although I'm assuming he is probably Asgard and Cabal.
He is definitely Asgard.
He's definitely Asgard, but
The
Cabal,
other-
we'll see. We'll see.
Is the other Loki just Cabal and Asgard?
I think so.
He is Cabal and Asgard.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our take on Loki, Prince of Lies. And the only thing that we have left is my non sequitur recommendation. So I was looking through Thomas Hiddleston's back catalog, and most of his movies are Marvel related. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's from a while ago that I've never seen before, but he is also in a movie that I saw called Crimson Peak, which is a Guillermo del Toro movie. Now, this is also not my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie, so I'm going to recommend my favorite Guillermo del Toro movie, Pan's Labyrinth. This is a Spanish language masterpiece that I remember hearing everything in English, even though it was all subtitles, because you're so enraptured by everything that's going on, and so the storytelling is excellent. It is a mix of like fantastical Fey world travel set aside in the dark days of the Spanish Revolution, in the Spanish Civil War, and it is really a fantastic movie. Highly, highly recommend. It's probably Guillermo del Toro's best work. And that will do it for us today here on Crit Hit Wild. Thank you, Brad, and thank you, Brandon, for joining me and talking about Loki, Prince of Lies. And to all of you out there listening, I hope that you have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.